Okay, so if you've been suffering from depression, anxiety, and accelerated aging, this video might be for you. So today we are talking about the number one key component that could be destroying your health and your children's health, and that is sugar and processed sugar. And the reason why I wanted to do this video was because of the conversations that I've had with a lot of parents and friends that are obsessed with obesity. And I'm saying obesity because a lot of people are saying, my kids don't need to worry about what they're eating or putting into their body because they're playing a lot of sports, they're doing a lot of workouts. Or I'll talk to one of my friends and she'll say, oh, well, Sheila doesn't need to worry about what she's eating because look how skinny she is. And I'm here to talk to you about being obese is the last thing that I worry about when it comes to sugar, when it comes to what you're putting into your body. Because when we're feeding our body high processed sugar, which is table sugar, which is any form of flour, so breads, pastas, cereals, whole wheat bread. Yes, whole wheat bread, I said that. A lot of people think that we've been brainwashed over the years to think that whole wheat bread is so much healthier than white. And the thing is that neither are good. Having a piece of whole wheat toast will actually spike your insulin faster than a Snickers bar. So there's nothing healthy about it. It turns into sugar in the body as soon as it's consumed. So what are the dangers of having all these high ultra processed foods into our diet is, number one, we have never seen in history than we have over the past 10 years is children with extremely high fatty liver, non-alcoholic cirrhosis of the liver, high insulin resistance, and type 2 diabetes. This is all happening because of the food that they're consuming. So it's the sugary cereals, it's going for snacks and having Slurpees, thinking that that's okay to have Slurpees when we're not just thinking about the 75 tablespoons of sugar that's in it, but we're also looking at the food dyes that are in it that is also contributing to ADHD, hyperactivity, focus problems, learning problems, sleep issues, mood disorders within children, and possibly yourself. So what are all the things that is creating this? And one of the problems is that when we're taking in high amounts of sugar is that it is leaching all the important vitamins and minerals from your body, your children's body. So it's leaching from the skin, the bones, your teeth. It's leaching them from each of the organs. So for instance, all the B vitamins, which are essential for energy, it's essential for your hair, skin, nails, it's important for liver metabolism. All of those are becoming leached from the body. It's important to help you sleep better at night. It's important for the mitochondria, which is the powerhouse of the cells. And all your cells are always consistently overturning. You have trillions of cells in your body and they're consistently overturning and they're being rebuilt without the proper vitamins and minerals. It's helping you to become the strong physically and strong mentally person as you get older. And what's happening is that the kids are not getting all of those vitamins and minerals, so they're creating depression, they're creating a lot of anxiety because they are depleted. They're absolutely depleted. So when we are taking in these foods, our body and our mind are not separate, you guys. When we have inflammation in our gut, we have inflammation in our brain, and vice versa. We've also seen that now, because type 2 diabetes has skyrocketed, we also see that there is a direct link with Alzheimer's and dementia, and that they're now calling that type 3 diabetes because they know it's an insulin resistance issue. It is what they're putting in their bodies. The high sugars, the alcohol, the processed foods, consistently creating a ton of inflammation. And that is creating our issues within our brain. And on a side note, we can reverse all of this. This is not something that we have to worry about that is going to happen to us down the road, even if you have several family members that have these issues. Again, we have to also remember that now with epigenetics, which is, we see that a lot of in the past, a lot of diseases that they say were genetic, we're saying that it's actually epigenetics, which means that the reason why people have these diseases is not because they're born with it and it's some gene, but the gene don't actually turn on or activated unless it is present within their environment. So if they are in a family that eats horrible, you're eating horrible, you're going to have the same diseases that your family has. So if your family's eating horrible and you are eating healthy, then there is a crazy high chance you're not going to get any of the problems that they have. Also, a lot of the mental diseases, such as depression and bipolar and such, we're seeing that it is epigenetic. So unless you are doing the things that are going to turn those genes on, it's nothing that you don't have to worry about, because we are in control. That is another thing that we hear all the time, is that we are not in control. They don't want us to think that we're in control. They, meaning the elitists, that they don't want us to think that we actually have the ability to affect the way we think and we feel and how we operate and the health that we have. And we 100% do. We 100% have that ability. We have control over ourselves. So when we intake all of these foods, it is creating hormonal imbalances. When we have hormonal imbalances, especially with women, because we have such an intricate system of hormones, it is like a domino effect. All the other hormones are being affected, especially, thyroid, PCOS, which is not a hormone, but it is doctors will say, oh, we don't know what is causing PCOS, polycystic ovarian syndrome. And we do know it is actually an insulin resistant issue, and that also can be reversed. I will do a full video on that in the future, because there's several things that you can do to help to reverse PCOS. That was me years ago, and I 100% was able to reverse it and heal myself. And then the second I wanted to get pregnant, I was pregnant the month after. So infertility is a huge, huge thing that's going on in our world right now. And people aren't looking at diet, and they're not looking at the hormones that are being affected. And all of those things are what make us up. So food and mood are affecting our mind, and it's affecting whether we have anxiety, whether we have depression. Again, if it's a non-traumatic, if it's nothing that you are dealing with from trauma from the past, then diet is a direct link. The other thing is, I talk to a lot of people that whether they are vegan or non, I see a lot of highly processed foods within the vegan community. I see like all the Beyond Meat burgers and all of that is full of processed stuff. So people think that they're doing their bodies good by having meatless Mondays or whatever, but then they're filling themselves up with Beyond Meat burgers. And that stuff is ultra processed, and it's highly genetically modified as well. So taking a look at all of those things are super, super critical. So what's a really other important aspect of our body? Well, number one, it's our digestive system. Our digestive system is number one. Why? Because 98% of diseases start in the gut. And when we're taking in processed sugars and all of these things, not only does it cause the high inflammation throughout our whole system, but it also leaches all the good bacteria from our gut. It also lowers our immunity. We need to remember some really critical factors here, you guys. Remember, 50% of our dopamine resides in our gut. 90% of our serotonin resides in our gut. Do you understand this? 90% of our serotonin resides in our gut. 78% of our immune system resides in our gut. So if you are putting in junk food all the time, how do you expect to ever feel healthy, ever feel happy, ever feel joy and fulfilled? All of these things are connected. We are not separate. Mind, body, our cellular structure, everything is connected. What we're feeding our cells, our soul, every part of our body is reacting. Every single part of our body is reacting. And it stems within our gut. So this is so critical. This is so critical for everyone to just stand back and think about it for a second. So when anybody ever talks to you about obesity and food and children and obesity, we need to take a step back and take a look at what we are putting in as food into our system. What quality of food are we putting in? Because our gut is everything that is going to affect the whole entire system. If you're not having and also too, the other thing is if we have a bad digestive tract, then we have high yeast in the body. We have a lot of toxins in our body. We are not having enough bowel movements throughout the day, because we have to also remember having healthy gut is healthy bowel movements. So at least 1 to 2 bowel movements a day. If you're ultra healthy, then 3 bowel movements is great. But we have been programmed, every second or third day, or some people are having a bowel movement once a week. This is not health. All that food that you're intaking is being stirred up, and all those toxins are being stored into the cells, into the different organs. It's causing even higher inflammation in the body. It is causing brain fog. It's causing a lot of issues within our thinking, poor focus, absolutely causing a lot of insomnia, causing nightmares, causing mood issues, causing anger issues, because our liver is being backed up. Everything's being backed up. Our gallbladder is being backed up. It's all a cycle. We are all one. Every part of our body is very important. Every organ in our body is important. So now, can you imagine you are a child and you're taking in all of these processed foods? It's leaching all the things from your body that your body needs to develop strong, mentally strong. You hit, your teenage years, and then you're depressed. You're grouchy all the time. You're moody all the time. Huge mood swings. If you're a female, you have period issues. This isn't by coincidence. This is happening because of the food that you have been taking in. Now, the good thing is, again, all of this stuff can be reversed. It can be changed. But it's really, really critical. And I say this to parents all the time, that you attempt to really feed your kids really healthy as young as you can. So as they get older and, they're 7, 8, 9, and they are out with friends, they will make better choices, or those foods won't tempt them or be even intriguing to them as much. Children used to take in, 50 years ago, 2 tablespoons a day, 2 tablespoons a day of sugar. Now, kids are getting in over 50 tablespoons of sugar a day. Tablespoons. They are having over 150 pounds of sugar per year. This is absolutely insane. So when you're thinking about obesity is a huge issue, no pun intended. It is a really bad issue that's going on throughout the Western world, probably throughout a lot of other parts of the world as well, but especially through the Western part of the world. But as a result, it is because of obviously the stuff that they're putting into their systems. So when we start to take care of our internal health, the external health is like a mirror. So you will start to feel better. You're going to start moving your body more. You're naturally going to start shedding fat. So when we are so focused on, extreme dieting, cutting calories, at all areas, doing all these extreme things to shed fat, because that's what, in our vanity mind in this part of the world, looking at celebrities and stuff, we're getting it all backwards. We're doing it wrong. And this is why people aren't able to maintain their fat loss, is because they're looking at it in the wrong perspective. You look at it from, I want to wake up in the morning and jump out of bed and feel great about life, feel great about my life, have a lot of energy, be able to chase my kids around the whole entire day, or, work a really great day at work and then chase my kids around and still have an abundance amount of energy and be able to sleep really well at night. All of these things are very possible. But we are so, again, conditioned to believe that, that this is we've just got it all backwards. We're all conditioned to believe the opposite. So when kids hit puberty and they start to eat a good diet, they're not going to be remotely as affected as kids that are eating junk food or eating, a lack of their protein, vitamins, and minerals, high processed foods and sugars. And again, I want to go into the fact that I know there's a lot of people that eat gluten-free, but when I see their gluten-free snacks and foods, it is just processed. So even if you're gluten-free, having lots of gluten-free snacks and lots of gluten-free cakes and cupcakes and all of those things are still not healthy because they're processed. So having very little in moderation is fine. The other thing is, again, if you are thinking being vegetarian is the healthiest version for you, but then you're having all of these vegetarian snacks, it's all processed. So getting back to the basics, getting back to all of, fruits and vegetables that are grown, organic meats as much as possible, or local meats as much as possible, good sources of fats that you're having into your diet, good omega-3s and coconut oils, and if you do butter, then having organic grass-fed butter and avocados and such. Those are the things that are going to fuel your system and make you feel better and really give you longevity. Our life is like the whole expanse, like a whole experience of life is already short as it is. Why not make it the best experience that we can by living with vitality and with energy and with joy? Because it is absolutely possible. With the anxiety and the depression, and on top of that, the accelerated aging. Why are we accelerated aging? Is because, again, we're not getting the vitamins and minerals that our body is requiring, so that we are aging at an accelerated rate. And so what are people doing? People are going out and paying so much more money for plastic surgery or, Botox and fillers and all of that at a very young age, when if they actually just took care of themselves, that would be slowed down dramatically, and they don't need to resort in those things. And it's not a judgment on anybody, but what I'm saying is that because they're seeing that their skin's elasticity is going, and that they are just feeling that they're seeing a lot of premature wrinkles. All of those things are caused from the food that we're intaking, and of course stress. Because what happens is that when we have the stress and we have the poor food, we're not getting the sleep that our body is requiring to heal and repair and do all the things that needs to be done, so that the next day our body has the energy that it needs. We consistently are sleeping less, and so we're sleeping less. And then a lot of people are looking at their phones before they go to bed at night, and they're looking at the blue light, which is affecting their melatonin. They're not getting in those deep sleeps. So then the next day they're constantly having higher cortisol levels. And so when you have higher cortisol levels, what happens? Well, number one, you're in fat storing mode, and number two, you're craving sugar the whole day, craving sugar and processed foods. So there's really easy things that you can do to rebalance your lifestyle and to change this. And that is, stop looking at your phone an hour to 2 hours before you go to bed. Number two, set boundaries for yourself. We all need to be disciplined, because the more, if you look at my other short video that I have, which is discipline equals freedom, there's nothing more truer than that, is that we start to set boundaries for ourselves and start to discipline our mind, then we start to create so much more freedom, because then we have more energy and we have more passion for life, and we can do the things that we want to do. So setting a really good bedtime for yourself, having that great sleep throughout the night, getting up in the morning, and then putting some really good fuel into your body first thing, or if you fast, whenever you have your first meal, then it's going to set your tone of your day. You're going to feel good. You're going to start reaching for better things. You're going to feel like reaching for better things. And when it comes to your children, like I was saying, and I know, this is so funny how so many people think that when you are talking about health, when you're talking about healthy food, it's almost like they look at you weird, as if like there's something wrong with you, because the norm now is to eat like shit all the time, and having your kids be able to eat like crap all the time, and taking them to fast food restaurants all the time, and that's supposed to be the norm. So if you are outside of that box, then you're an odd parent, or you're not being kind to your kid, because I get that a lot. I have a toddler, and we never gave him any sort of processed sugar until he was over 2 years old. None. And I made him lots of stuff with dates and unpasteurized organic honey, raw honey. I made him different things of that nature, but you know what? Like he didn't eat it. He didn't eat it. To this day, he's never eaten at fast food. I don't eat at fast food, so why would I do that? And my partner doesn't eat it at fast food places. We don't drink pop. Why would I give that to my child? Why would I give my child 60 tablespoons of sugar in a can of pop? Like, that's disgusting. Why would I do that to him? And again, all of this doesn't come down to fat. It doesn't come down to worrying about his waistline. It comes down to what the hell is going on inside of his body, so that his brain is able to function better, so that his hormones, so he is growing big and strong and getting all the stuff that he needs. As he gets older, like I said, when they're 7 and 8 years old and they have had a lot of healthy stuff, they're not going to have the junk food. And the reason why I know this is because this is me. As a teenager, I maybe had a couple of years where I was eating a lot of stuff, but as soon as I hit 14, it's probably like 12 to 13, I was like eating some junk food. But when I was 14, 15, I wanted to eat healthy. I wanted to run all the time. I actually started working at 13 years old, and at 14 I got a membership to a gym because I wanted to stay healthy. I wanted to run. I wanted to lift weights. I was doing this. This was the early 90s, guys. And that was just something that I wanted to do. My partner, he was an athlete. So he was the same, like really healthy, into the gym and working out. And it had nothing to do with our waistlines. It was about health and longevity and the importance of just being a really strong human being. You just wake up from your nap. So I guess that ends this video. I just want you to know that wherever you are at in your life, you can reverse your symptoms and your depression and your anxiety by changing what you're putting into your temple, because we need to give lots of love and respect to this beautiful body of ours. We don't have it for that long. And as we grow older, we don't have to decline in our mental state. We can actually stay really cognizant, and we can live into, I think, well into our hundreds with a healthy mind and a healthy body if we choose to do so. And we need to make some major changes in this part of the world. Talk to you soon.